Today I want to share with you a bit different perspective on chakras and how you can be stuck in different type of survival mode depending which blocks of what chakra are the most active now. And especially I want to share with you the importance of a transition between solar plexus and the heart, why it makes, I would say, the main difference in the way of living, the main difference in a state, and why it's also important and what can help you with it. And at the end, I will also share with you something that can be very helpful on this journey, moving through all the chakras, opening all the chakras, and returning to your wholeness. First, I want to mention that there are two ways we can see chakras. None of them is wrong. They are not exclude one another. I use both of them. So on one hand, we see them as our energy center, and we want all of them to be active, balanced, open, because each of them represent different areas of our life, different inner states, different functions, qualities, benefits, all sorts of things, and we need all of them, and that's one of the things. The other thing, you can also see chakras as some level of consciousness, or I would say some mode of living, of approaching your life, and in some cases of surviving, and that's what I want to cover here. If we look at our three lower chakras, root, sacral and solar plexus, I see them both as different ways of survival, and I'll explain why. Root, I think it's very obvious. If you are not new to chakras, we know that root is actually the one that governs our basic physical survival needs. If we see it as a certain level where the main blocks are, our life can look like real struggle to physically survive, to meet the most basic needs. You can spend all your time, energy and resources just to be able to provide basics. Maybe you work all day long just to pay the bills, to get food and place to live, and like you have nothing else left for anything else. When we move to sacral chakra, it's already a bit different story. It's not preoccupied mainly about physical survival. Sacral is more about emotional survival. When most of blocks and the level of life is here, your basic physical needs may be covered, all okay, but the emotional survival is a different thing. It's all about not feeling bad, kind of emotion, discomfort of them, pain, and these kind of things, and trying to, or to feel at least nothing, to numb this, to distract yourself, or to feel certain pleasure. And it can look in some moments as avoidance of your fears, of your pain, of maybe guilt, shame, all the uncomfortable emotions, and making certain choices, the priority to not feel those and to feel certain pleasure. So this is the survival when the focus to avoid pain and to gain pleasure. So it could look like that you may be eating a lot without feeling hungry, just for the pleasure. Maybe you binge watching TV shows. Maybe you always in social media. Maybe you distracting yourself with some activity, but not for certain purpose, not because it's your real interest, your real desire, just to not feel the pain and try to get some pleasure. And when we move to solar plexus, we already not so pulled by instant gratifications of numbing the pain like here and now. We are able to delay gratification, to deal with certain discomfort and pain here, but it looks more like ego survival. We try survive in the future, so we also working for things like money, status, identity, power, this kind of thing. So we have goals and we're working towards these goals, but they are used to still cover certain fears and certain pains. The difference from sacral, we can control ourselves, we have willpower, we can have discipline, and we can control ourselves in a way that we're more strict with ourselves. We're working toward the goal. When you, for example, able to have discipline to go every day to the gym because you want to look in a certain way, to feel in a certain way, or you can work for your very important goal all day long. Even you don't really need money to survive, for example, but you work for certain status, for certain future, for certain, it could be different things. It maybe you want certain maybe appreciation from other people, certain status, to get the idea that other people value you, that gives you safety. You may want to have more power, more control, all these kind of things. It doesn't mean that all things are bad and that you should not do them. The difference between survival and other levels of living is that all this still determined and kind of motivated by certain avoidance, by trying to cover up something. Some fear, some maybe feeling of being unworthy, some inner unconscious guilt or shame. It could be not very visible, but it's definitely still a survival. And we can go through all these levels, different type of survival. There's nothing wrong with them. It's not like judgment, not saying it's wrong. We go through these things. And when we arrive into the heart, everything changes, because in the heart, in the energy of the heart, the level of the heart, there is no survival anymore. There is no avoidance of pain. There is no obsession with the future, with the control. There is real life and real being here in the moment. And for example, compared to sacral chakra, in the heart we can be with our pain and with our emotions. Not like in solar plexus, when we push ourselves through discomfort, through pain for certain achievement, and to then get some relief by achieving something, but we can just be with it. We can see it, we can process it, we can accept it, we can really be. We can also be in contact with present, without chasing anything, without running from something, without being stuck in the past or in the future, just being. And there is more trust, less control, much more presence, as I already said. And we're not trying to prove anything in this state. We're not trying to be good just to be good, to have certain identity. The desire to do something for others, for example, or to help others in the heart chakra comes as a real feeling. Not because we're afraid to not do, or because it's just certain beliefs, identity, or ideas. It's very natural. With connection to the heart chakra, we can access our real desires, our real impulses that comes in the moment, not the one that can come from sacral, that you want to get certain pleasure or to numb some feelings. Something very different. There is no urgency, there is no fear, there is no fight, there is no obsession. It's just natural. You allow yourself to be as you are, to live from what you feel, and you allow others to be as they are. You're not trying to change yourself, and you're not trying to change others. And one of the videos that I published recently, I'm giving a guided practice that while watching it, you can connect with your heart and feel it in the moment. And another important thing here, it's not like we move from level to level and we stay there. It's not a linear process. It's very changeable. It sometimes could be several steps forward and then a few steps back, or sometimes you felt the heart, you experienced this feeling, you lived it, and then suddenly some crisis, something happened that pushed you back more down. Sometimes some very difficult situation can put you in physical survival where you really need to do it, or some trauma, emotional trauma that will put you in sacral when you need to use some distractions to avoid pain because it is impossible to process it now. Or when we get back to solar plexus and we run on this willpower because we need something in the future, we're chasing something in the future. The other thing, all these chakras are very important. We need to be able to physically survive, and we need to have contact with our emotions and with our desires and with joy and pleasure from sacral chakra, and we need all the power from the solar plexus. So we need everything. But when we're stuck with certain strong blocks for a long time in one chakra, that's where we may want to change it a bit. And the other difference of the heart, I see it as at the center as the most important one, and the one that is needed to process blocks from all the other chakras, and down and up. I'm not covering upper chakras here, it's a bit different story. We always need the foundation of lower ones to have better experience with the higher ones. And we need this heart energy to dissolve and to process the blocks, because energy block is also emotional and process pain very often. And to be able to uncover and to process this block that has a lot of stuck, difficult emotion, we need this presence and acceptance, the ability to handle these emotions. And when I was publishing my previous videos about how I was processing blocks from each of these chakras, what I was facing, what was happening with me, what changes I was going through, I was giving you all this example, and I was telling that the energy of the heart, the connection with the heart is very important here. Because when we connecting with the heart, with the presence, when we're able to be in the moment of awareness, to see things as they are without trying to escape or change them straight away, we get the ability, we get the power to finally process something, to put attention to something that wants our attention, and then to have a choice what you want to do later. And I recently published a book, The Return from Fragmentation to Wholeness, where I give the 100-day program that can help you to go through this process, to connect with your heart and to balance all your chakras. But it's not only about chakras. One of the main things that you will get there is that everyday tools to increase your awareness, to get more power, to choose what you do with your attention, with your energy, to gather back energy that you may be losing through certain energy drains, to get awareness about your beliefs that may be limiting you, to process the stuck emotions that are maybe standing between you and your full life. So it helps a lot to move through all the chakras. I explain each of them there. I give practice for them, and the main thing is the program is structured from first step to the last step for 100 days with all the tools. So by going through it, you get in the experience that are very balanced, that already the experience that is tested, and I'm using for myself, not the first time. I'm going through it now. I'm already almost at the end of it, and even I'm not doing these things for the first time, I did them many times, I'm still getting results. I'm still getting even more awareness of things that I didn't saw before about myself. I'm start making things that before I couldn't, that I was afraid. I'm getting some changes in my life that before seemed impossible. They were only like just dreams. So it's something that I'm using, and if you're interested, you can check the book. It's available on Amazon now. And if you have any questions, you can leave me a comment below. And thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video.